Hey gang, well what started out as coffee and cutters and turned into I think tea and traditionals, maybe we'll just call it beverages and blades. Get yourself a beverage and settle in for a few minutes. We're going to talk about Sodbusters. What is a Sodbuster? A Sodbuster is an American knife which descended from common penny knives, work knives, miner's knives, and shepherd's knives of Europe. The main thing that makes a soddy is the Skinner blade, the back spring, the bird's eye pivot, and the composite handle. Now, the handle doesn't have to be composite, as we'll see in a minute, but it should have that sort of Sodbuster hand-filling shape. This is a junior, by the way. This is a case Sodbuster Jr. in chrome vanadium steel. Probably your most common form. There are some others. Case makes a couple of different Soddies. This one is the Sodbuster Jr. in stainless. Take a look at the blade etching there. Again, composite handle, large bird's eye pivot. Strong back spring on these. Tends to make me carry them, well this one in particular, a little less than I might otherwise. This one can be pinched open. No problem. Still a good snap. Good and sturdy when it's open. Good strong close. I'm not the kind of guy who worries much about blade centering, but it seems that that's something that people are interested in. So my opinion is if it's not contacting anything, it's fine. And when this closes, there's no contact. This one, I don't even know how the blade centering is. Oh, it's actually pretty good, I think. Yeah, it's not bad. Again, my big pet peeve, blade wobble. And this has 0. And why this has 0 is because I had to send it back to case to be fixed. I will not tolerate blade wobble. And because of that, I don't buy case knives sight unseen anymore. Love them. I'll keep buying them, but I got to play with them first in the store. That's just the way it has to be. I've had to send too many back, and I've had to repair too many myself over the years. But like I said, I still love them. Next up, we're going to take a look at a Kissing Crane Brown Mule. Now, the blade etching is nearly gone on this one, but if I get it in the right light, I think we can. Yep, there we go. You can see the little wagon with a team of mules, and it says Brown Mule. And we can find the Kissing Crane logo on the blade tang. Can we focus? Right there. It says Italy. Good snap. Carbon blade, I gotta say, is pretty darn soft. But, however, these knives were meant to be touched up constantly, and they were meant for rough work. So, a relatively easy to touch up carbon blade was probably what you wanted on something like this. I don't believe these are made in Italy anymore, and I don't know what kind of wood this is. But it's very well made. Lines are good. It was dirt cheap, I think I recall. If I recall correctly, I paid less than 20 bucks for it. Probably less than 10. But, yeah, nicely made. Italian. Brown Mule. Next up, take a look at a 2005 Bulldog brand Soddy. Now this one has, in my opinion, the drawback of having much thinner handles. I'm going to compare this to the case, and you'll see the difference in the thickness of the handles. I prefer the bigger grip. Clean this up. Hasn't been used much. I've carried it a time or two, but I like the blade etching. There we go. 2005. And a nice big bird's eye pivot again. The fit and finish on this Bulldog is good, but not as good as the case. Either of the cases. I feel a bit, the liners stand a bit proud in the back. It's a bit rough underneath. How are the grind lines? Grind lines are good. The blade's nice. It's a forged blade, I believe. Very sharp. Check the centering on this one. Pretty decent. Next up, a large Rough Rider locking Sodbuster. What can I say about this? The blade's fantastic. Fit and finish seem pretty decent for the most part. Cuts like crazy. Lockup's pretty good for this leaf spring lock thing. But the handle. The handle. Well, check out the cracks that have formed around the pivot after not very hard use at all. And from side to side, yeah, is that even the same handle material? I suppose if I try very, very hard, I can convince myself that's the same color. Whatever. As a toolbox knife, it's just fine. It really is just fine. No issues with it. It is what it is. And it'll continue to get used here and there. But of all of them, this is far and away my favorite. The sharpness of this Skinner blade, or maybe we call it a modified Skinner. I don't think it's even a modified Skinner. I think it's just a skinning blade that's been put to use for other things. The grind is fantastic. The heat treat is good. I can get a crazy sharp edge on here. Nothing I own sharpens up as nicely as this, except with the exception of an Opinel or two in carbon, a Schrade, an old Schrade or two in carbon, and a Duke. Nothing else comes close. I'd shave hair for you, but there's nothing left on my forearms to shave. All right, let's get some quick measurements. And we're just going to do the case CV. So the blade length from tip to the top of the handle is 2 7/8. Is that right? Jeez, I thought it was longer than that. The knife in total from stem to stern is 6.5. Well, that's being generous, I think. 6.5. Cutting edge, roughly 2.5, 2 5/8. Close length. is a light and pocketable 3 and, yeah, I'm going to call that 5/8 too. Let's get some weight. The Case Sodbuster Jr. Hold on a second. Weighs 57.9 grams. 2 ounces, bang on. So, 3 Sodbusters. Four Sodbusters. On the small side. And one a little on the larger side. As far as usefulness and quality, they go in this order. I'll leave this slightly in the picture. All right, we're all done here today. Thanks for joining me.